continue with Week 11 of the 1990 National Football League season this afternoon from Anaheim Stadium. The Dallas Cowboys against the Los Angeles Rams. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Verne Lundquist along with Dan Fouts. Welcome to Southern California, where both teams enter the game today with only 3 wins apiece. Dan, in the case of the Cowboys, that is not totally surprising, but they're having terrible offensive problems.
Well, something has to give today. Here the Cowboys have scored 10 touchdowns all year, but the Rams have given up 31. So look for these major changes they're talking about. Well, there's not going to be any for the Cowboys. They're still going to throw the ball underneath the deep zone of the Rams, and they're going to give the ball to Emmitt Smith 25 times today.
If it is not surprising that the Cowboys have won only 3, it is shocking that the Rams have a 3-6 record.
Well, they've had all kinds of problems with injuries and holdouts, and a lot of people would think that John Robinson would scrap all this passing and get back to just pounding the ball at his opponent, but not so. Robinson told us yesterday he still feels that the strength of this offense is in the arm of Jim Everett and the hands of Flipper Anderson and Henry Eller.
Typically gorgeous November afternoon, 69 degrees, 72% humidity. The forecast partly sunny for the remainder of the day. The Cowboys won the toss, which means Mike Lansford will kick off. James Dixon and Alexander Wright are deep to return the kick. That is Dixon, number 21 on the left-hand side, Wright, number 81 on the right-hand side. 24th meeting between these two teams last year in Dallas. The Rams won a thriller 35-31. And this will be Alexander Wright at the 7. Has some room and is out to the 31-yard line before he is spilled. Brett Verne makes the tackle after a 25-yard return. Troy Aikman, first game in his in the locale in which he played college football, of course, played at UCLA. First time back here since he joined the Cowboys. And offensively, Kevin Gogan, Crawford Kerr, Mark Stepnoski, John Giesick, Nate Newton, and the leading receiver in the ball club, Jay Novacek. Emmitt Smith and Tommy Agee in the backfield. Kelvin Martin and Michael Irvin, getting his second start of the season, are the wide receivers. From the 31, 1st and 10. Emmitt Smith darts over right guard and out near the 33, where he is tackled by Larry Kelm, number 52. Defensively for the Rams, and they've had problems this year, though they're playing a little better in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Reed, Wright, and Peel up front. The linebackers are Kevin Green, Frank Stams, Larry Kelm, and Brett Verne starts for Mike Wilcher today. The secondary hobbled by injuries. Gray, Humphrey, Vince Newsom, and Michael Stewart. Jerry Gray particularly is still not 100%. Second down and 8. Michael Irvin starts in motion. Drive the sweep to the left side, and that one doesn't go very far. Tackle made by Alvin Wright, number 99, the nose guard.
Yeah, the amazing thing when you have a game like this with a struggling offense on one side, the Cowboys, going against a struggling defense, the Rams, anything can happen, but it looks that the Cowboys want to be conservative today, have already given Emmitt Smith the ball in the first 2 carries.
Jimmy Johnson sends in his passing formation now. Darrell Johnson comes in as the setback, and Alexander Wright comes in as the 3rd wide receiver on 3rd and 6 from the 35-yard line. Four-man rush. Aikman stands strong, has it picked off, intercepted by Vince Newsom. His 2nd interception of the year. And the 13th straight game in which Troy Aikman has been intercepted. 13 in a row.
Yeah, it's a tough way to start off your day in your hometown. Number 22 is Newsom on the left side of the screen. He's just going to drop into the middle of the field here, read the quarterback's eyes. Aikman's forcing this one into double coverage, and the result is an interception. Good job of Newsom just dropping back, watching what Aikman was doing, reading his mind and his eyes, coming up with the pick.
And the Ram defense, that's only the 7th interception they have picked off in 1990. 7 for the season. Now from the 37, 1st down and 10, Jim Everett hands it off to Cleveland Gary, who spins into a tackle at the 35-yard line. Ken Norton, who's having a terrific season for the Cowboy defense. Offensively up front, protecting Jim Everett. Herb Pankey and Tom Newberry on the left side. The veteran Doug Smith, joined by Duval Love and Jackie Slater, playing in his 15th season. Damone Johnson is the tight end. Gary has taken over the running back chores now, joined by McGee in the backfield, and Henry Ellard and Flipper Anderson are the wide receivers. 2nd down and 9. No score. Aikman's interception set up this Los Angeles possession. Flag is down. And that pass almost picked off by Isaac Holt. One of those acquired in the Herschel Walker trade a year ago. And he leads the Cowboys with 3 interceptions. They have only 5 for the year. Bob McElwee is the official, the referee, and he indicates the infraction.
Illegal motion, number 80, offense. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Henry Ellard.
Yeah, here's Henry Ellard working against Isaac Holt, and the Rams aren't going to make a lot of money today working against Holt. Holt may be playing, as you see, Ellard is the one who was offsides there. Holt may be playing as well as any cornerback in the league right now. Real bonus for that Herschel Walker trade for the Cowboys. That's paying off now.
Yes, and of course it'll continue to pay off in years to come. 3rd and 9. Rush from the outside. Man open. Henry Ellard. Did he catch it? He was pushed out of bounds. Or was he out of bounds?
Well, they're going to give it to him, and
yes,
they're going to say that he would have come down if the just natural gravity would have pulled him down. But the cornerback outside there is responsible for pushing him out, and that's Kenneth Gant, number 29. Watch how Ellard goes way up in the air, makes this grab. Now Gant is just going to carry him right over to the sideline. That's an outstanding call by the head linesman there.
That is the 59th straight game in which Henry Ellard has caught a pass.
Yeah, he clearly would have come down inbounds here. And there's a call by our head linesman, John Schlayer.
On 1st and 10, Cleveland Gary up the middle, inside the 20 to the 17-yard line.
We talked about the Cowboys offense struggling, while the Rams offense uncharacteristically has struggled the last 3 weeks. They've only scored 33 points in those last 3 games.
They lost to New York here at home last week, 31 to 7. Though interesting, John Robinson said that loss was not a disaster. We've had 2 disasters this year, both on the road, once at Chicago, once at Pittsburgh. He thought the team played adequately last week, and that New York was just a better ball club. No score. Opening moments. Blitz coming. Flags are down. Gary's got a lot of room. Touchdown if the play stands.
It's going to stand. Touchdown Rams.
Offside Dallas. Touchdown Los Angeles. 16 yards.
Now the Cowboys gambled on defense with the blitz here. Number 20 is Ray Horton. He's going to come up on the blitz, but the man who was offsides was Jim Jeffcoat, number 77. There's Horton. He had Gary as his responsibility, but the Rams burned the Cowboys' safety blitz.
Mike Lansford on to attempt the extra point. Pete Holohan will hold it. So the first turnover of the ball game converted into a touchdown by the Los Angeles Rams.
Take one more look at the touchdown, the area that Jeffcoat vacated, and as you can see, the cornerback is in man-to-man coverage, and a simple touchdown as Gary goes in untouched. Huge hole on that left side, but really nobody to challenge. Because once Jeffcoat got off the sides, he was off balance, couldn't recover, and one block on the safety, and this man got 6. It's so important for a team to capitalize on a turnover because it pulls the team together. The defense makes the turnover, bang, the offense goes in and cashes in on the turnover, gives the team a feeling of unity.
So John Robinson's ball club goes 36 yards in 5 plays. Cleveland Gary's 8th rushing touchdown of the season has given Los Angeles the early lead of 7-0. Mike Lansford will kick off for the second time. And again, it's Dixon. And Alexander Wright deep. Wright for the second time in the same spot. And he is cut down as he tries the high hurdle. Paul Butcher made the tackle, a 17-yard return.
Well, Wright was coming right up the middle here, and his nickname is Ace. And he's going to land on his ace, I think, here. Yeah, right on the old ace.
Oh, boy. Lattenberry talking to John Robinson. First and 10. Aikman with the audible, leans out and hollers. And whoa, boy. Frank Stamms says hello to Emmitt Smith, and Stamms is a little woozy as he gets up.
Boy, he is woozy. I don't think that he'll be able to continue here. This is an unbelievable hit, and rarely does the man doing the hit get hurt. It's usually the hittee. But Stamms just perfect tackle, and he shuffled his papers a little bit with that one.
No gain on the play. It'll be second down and 10. Frank Stamms does stay in, but he was a little wobbly when he got up. Aikman, short set up, tipped and almost picked off by Kevin Green. So Aikman off to a slow start. The Rams lead it by 7 after the Aikman interception picked off by Newsom. And now the Cowboys with a 3rd and 10.
Unusual to see Green dropping back into pass coverage, but gives us some type of idea what kind of athlete he is. He has the ability to get after the quarterback with all those sacks. But he made a nice play there and almost came up with an interception. And if he had, he might have scored.
Kevin Green had 2 sacks last week. He's been a little slow rounding into his Pro Bowl shape of a year ago. 3rd and 10. Calvin Martin starts in motion. Aikman is hit as he lets it go. The pressure collapsed in the pocket, and it was a one-hopper in the general direction of Calvin Martin, but the Cowboys will have to punt.
Well, the frustration continues for Troy Aikman and this Cowboy offense. They're really searching for an identity. You talk to the coaches, and they say, well, we like to be a ball control type of offense. We run the same offense that the Miami Dolphins do. We just don't have the results, and a lot of reasons for it.
Well, here's one of the few bright spots for the Cowboys. Mike Saxon on to punt. He's got a 43-yard average, a little over 43 this year. That is not his best. Taken to the 35. And Darrell Henley, who has been bothered by a groin pull much of the year, gets it back to the 36-yard line. 5 on the return. Ken Norton with the tackle. And Jim Everett comes on for the second Ram possession of the first quarter. Everett said he's trying to play every down as if the game is even. And sometimes tries to force it a little too much.
Well, the problem has been, Verne, is that he's played too many downs this year when it's been very, very lopsided against him. The Rams have fallen behind in a lot of games by 20 points or so, and put a lot of pressure on this guy.
Timeout.
Well, that's an unusual timeout because there was 13 seconds remaining on the play clock. Obviously some type of mix-up, and that's unusual because Everett was just over on the sidelines getting the plays from the coaching staff, and you would think that if they were ever going to have one exactly right, it's the very first play of the drive. But somebody either lined up in the wrong area, and Everett didn't feel he had enough time to correct the mistake. Hate to see any quarterback take a timeout this early in the ball game.
Now they have to use one of their 3, and Jim Everett heads back out. Expectations so high for John Robinson's club. He is in the next to last year of his contract. He has 1 more year to go, but there's been almost the inevitable speculation about his future because of the 3-6 record. John said no, he's not worried about it. Doesn't think about it because he said, I know I'll get a job somewhere if it's not here.
Yeah, you better believe that. He's an outstanding football coach, an outstanding record. I've known him for about 25 years now, and He recruited me up at Oregon. He was my offensive coordinator back there. We had a guy by the name of Bobby Moore. Now Ahmad Rashad is our tailback, and we could put some points on the board, and he was our offensive coordinator. Tremendous success with the Trojans, and of course here with the Rams.
John Robinson's team went to the NFC Championship game last year, and he said the expectations were perhaps a little too high for this ball club, given what he acknowledged were defensive deficiencies even in training camp.
It almost appears that Robinson starts each year with his hands tied. He doesn't have all his players in camp for a number of reasons, but it's amazing at how many holdouts the Rams will have every year. It seems like this poor guy is coaching half the team when he starts out the year, and when you look at their main rival up the road there in San Francisco, boy, they're paying, and there's hardly any holdouts. And,
how'd you like to examine the payrolls of the respectively of the Rams and the 49ers?
I'd like to inspect those Super Bowl rings that are up north.
1st and 10, we're back to play. Play fake, Everett looks deep, and he'll run it. Oh boy, he had Buford McGee wide open on the left side of the field, but by the time Jim Everett spotted him, Everett was across the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he wanted to go deep with this off the play action. The Cowboys did a nice job of staying with the receivers. Ray Horton was way back there, shut down that deep post pattern, and as you said, Verne, a little bit too late to get it out to Buford McGee, or McGee had some serious running room.
2nd down and 7. We are midway through the 1st quarter of play. Pete Holohan comes in as the H-back. McGee starts in motion. They hand it off to Gary. Nifty change of pace and direction. A fumble. And who got it? Rams recover. But what a nice little change of direction by Cleveland Gary, about 2 yards beyond the line of scrimmage.
Well, we'll take a look at that nifty little move, Verne. This is the counter play. Both offside linemen pull, Newberry and Pankey. There's the cut right in the hole there, as Holohan has a nice seal block. And then Gary gets hit from behind and fumbles. Noonan gets his hand in there, and one of the Ram wide receivers is there for the recovery.
7-0 ball game. Los Angeles on top on a 16-yard Cleveland Gary run. That followed an interception of a Troy Aikman pass. 3rd and 3 LA from their own 46. Blitz is coming. Bill Bates. The pass left for Del Pino is incomplete, and the Rams will have to punt.
Well, the Rams have been absolutely terrible in 3rd down conversions lately. 38% on the year, and Everett just missed a wide open receiver there. Del Pino had the 1st down easily, and maybe more.
Keith English is on to punt for the Rams, and Derek Shepard will go back for the Cowboys. Pressure coming. The Cowboys might go after the punt today. A flag is down. Derek Shepard is caught in a 3-way trap at the 19-yard line. 36-yard punt and 2 on the return, and now we'll check the infraction back near the line of scrimmage. Holding Rams, so they'll have to do it again.
Yeah, and it's a good thing they did hold her. That punt might have been blocked.
Jesse Solomon came through. The Cowboys indicated they might try and come after the punter today.
39, offense, 10 yards, 4th down.
That's Bob Del Pino.
Although English hasn't had any blocked, he's had to pull a couple down and run for them. And when a team is having a tough year, it usually shows up somewhere along the line in the special teams.
So that fine punt and downfield coverage, the excellent downfield coverage by the Rams, goes for naught. And English this time will kick it from his own 21-yard line, perhaps the 25 by the time he moves forward. There's Derek Shepard. Mike McDonald is the snapper. 10-man front for the Cowboys. They send 9. And Shepard will have time to return this one. No flag on that block. The crowd thought there might be one forthcoming, but it was ruled a clean block, and the tackle made by Robert Del Pino.
You see on the sideline some of the snapshots that the players will look at, and they're checking the alignment of different players, where they are, what the type of offensive set they're facing or defensive set, and That really helps out a lot because it gives the players something visually to look at instead of these X's and O's you can see on the board under there.
There is an injured player down for the Cowboys, Derek Shepard, the man who returned the punt. So the medical staff has come on the field. Shepard down at the 28-yard line. We welcome those of you who've been watching that thrilling Philadelphia-Atlanta game. The Eagles come from behind and defeat the Falcons 24-23. Our score is 7-0 Los Angeles. The Rams scored after intercepting a Troy Aikman pass at the 36-yard line. And Cleveland Gary got the touchdown from 16 yards out on the 5th play of the drive. Los Angeles has just punted to Dallas. There's Cleveland Gary. Let's go back and take a look again at the touchdown run by Cleveland Gary.
Well, Jeffcoat jumps off sides on the right side here, but now watch the block by Buford McGee on Ray Horton, and this gets Gary into the secondary and into the end zone.
Derek Shepard, who just returned a punt and was injured, has been assisted to the sidelines. And now the Cowboys with the ball for the 3rd time. They had 14 yards of offense in the second half, losing to the 49ers last Sunday night. They have had just horrible offensive problems lately, and they've got 3 yards total on 2 possessions so far. Emmitt Smith does the hurdle at the 33 and is dropped at the 37 by Larry Kelm, number 52.
Well, Smith had been just 3 yards on 3 carries, and here he knows it's going to be a rough day for him. He's got to give it that extra effort, and here is that extra effort as he jumps through the hole and picks up about 7 yards.
Emmitt Smith, the #1 draft choice, summer holdout, had 121 yards in the game against Tampa, which the Cowboys won, but since then has not rushed for more than 55 in any one game. Aikman back near side, one hopper, Kelvin Martin. And it'll be 3rd down.
One thing that Aikman has to do is develop some type of rhythm, some type of confidence, and I'm not sure he's getting the help in the play selection. In that situation there, he had all the time in the world to throw the ball, but because of what had happened to him earlier in the game with the interception, he's still looking for his first completion. He is not in sync.
Well, there was an offensive players only meeting on Wednesday in Dallas, during which time they had a chance to air their gripes, and they have been considerable. Not only with David Shula, the offensive coordinator, but with Jimmy Johnson. Quarterback draw, that didn't go anywhere, and the Cowboys will punt. So it's been an interception and 2 punts, the highlights of the Cowboy offense thus far.
Yeah, they've run about 9 plays, 3 and out, and an interception on the first time, and now a very strange call, a quarterback draw, and the Rams are all over it. You look around at the offensive line, and they're looking as bewildered as anyone with some of these play calls.
Mike Saxon back to punt for the 2nd time. Darrell Henley waits for it at the 20. Henley at the 13. Flag is down. And Henley is as well at the 15-yard line. Tackle made by number 99, David Howard. That's a 49-yard Saxon punt, and 2 on the return. There is a flag on the far side of the field at the 41-yard line. And now the discussion that
you notice the referee also has his hat off.
Foul, number 26, post-possession foul. Post-possession foul after the ball was kicked. The Rams will keep the ball after enforcement of the penalty.
And what he did, Anthony Newman blocked his man out of bounds. That's why the penalty was called, and that's why the referee had his hat off.
Gary tries to dart to the outside and is cut down near the 9-yard line by Ken Norton, number 51.
And Norton has really been the player for the Cowboy defense this year. he has been dominating, and they're getting great play from throughout their linebacking core, but Norton has really been the guy that has picked up the pace.
Saw a graphic demonstration of the problems the Cowboys are having with an average of 1.1 yards per play. Much more decent for Los Angeles at 5.4. Second down now. And 7. Holohan is in the lineup, and he's in motion. Everett looks deep left side. That will be out of bounds. Incomplete ball to Henry Ellard. Ellard, who has held to just 1 catch last week, but it did keep his consecutive game streak alive.
Well, Everett throws the deep out as well as any quarterback in the league. This one is a little bit late. Ellard is already to the sideline, makes the grab, and cannot keep both feet in bounds.
Ellard, who needs 8 catches to pass Tom Fears as the all-time leading receiver of the Los Angeles Rams.
A couple weeks ago, he passed Elroy Hirsch in yardage. Needs 8 to pass Tom Fears today.
Stunts by the Cowboy defense. The pass left side. Ellard incomplete. Coverage by Kenneth Gant, the 9th-round rookie. Number 29.
We talked earlier about Everett not making a lot of money going against Isaac Holt. Holt almost had an interception early in the game. Last 2 plays, identical passes to Ellard against the rookie, Kenneth Grant. So it appears that the Rams are going to be working against number 29 today.
29 and 45 when he is occupying that right corner spot, Manny Hendricks. That was the game plan. Here's Keith English back to punt.
Nervous time for the Rams.
Keep in mind the Cowboys said they might come after one today. Bill Bates was the closest and was blocked into English. Shepard, nice little move. And the Cowboys with good field position now at the 45-yard line of the Los Angeles Rams. A 41-yard punt, 6 on the return. Cowboys in good shape, but can they do anything with it? Good crowd on hand, almost full house. And they have seen the Rams take a 7-0 edge, but the Cowboys held the Rams inside the 10, and now Dallas with its best field position in the first quarter. They've got it at the 45, but thus far on 3 possessions, a total of 10 yards on offense for the Cowboys.
And Aikman still looking for his first completion.
Albert right over Mark Stepnoski. Backs are split behind Troy Aikman. On the post pattern, almost picked off. Jerry Gray almost got that one. 0 for 5 for Aikman.
Yeah, and Jerry Gray reads this pattern as well as anybody. Here he is on the coverage. He's going to drop back, read the quarterback's eyes, and then make a break on this pass. And he almost comes up with the interception. In fact, the ball goes off his hands as he drives on the ball and almost gets the pick.
Jerry Gray hampered with a knee injury. Still not 100%. Second down and 10. Emmett Smith tries to find something on the right side. He gets inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. Dallas defense hasn't played all that poorly this year.
No, they really haven't, and a big part of it has been number 96, Daniel Stubbs, and the rookie Jimmy Jones on that defensive line to go with the veteran Jeffcoat. They're getting good play out of their linebackers, and Isaac Holt has really given them a Pro Bowl type of cornerback. So this defense is in good shape. It's this other.
Yeah, the same cannot be said for the guys that are on the field. And the inept Cowboy offense has been the subject of endless speculation in the Dallas media. Aikman back. This pass is complete. It's Darrell Johnson who winds up as the lone setback in the passing scheme on obvious passing downs, and a gain of 11. First down, Dallas.
This is what Aikman has to do with his pass offense. Watch how soft the Rams are going to play in their zones here. You notice the interception when Aikman tried to throw it deeper the first pass of the game. Here he settles for his underneath receiver, Darrell Johnston, and picks up a first down, the Cowboys' first of the game.
Johnston's 11th catch of the year, the second-year man from Syracuse who was the number 2 draft choice. And the Cowboys 32-yard line of the Los Angeles Rams, 1st and 10 with 4 minutes to go. First quarter. The reverse. Fumbled in the backfield by the speedster Alexander And then he's almost decapitated as he gets to the 32.
Oh, that play really had a chance, too. The one man that sniffed it out right away was number 91, Kevin Green. You watch Green come across the line of scrimmage. Actually, it's Verne, number 51. Aikman has the block on him, but now Wright is trying to pick up the ball on the dribble drive, and that throws the timing all off. And good job by Wright getting back to the line of scrimmage and avoiding a disaster there. Got a nice bounce.
Brett Verne is taken out by Aikman, but with the dribble, the opportunity goes a wasting at 2nd down and 10. Novacek in motion. Draw play. Smith slips the tackle, comes left, cuts inside, nifty run to the 22-yard line. That might not quite be enough for a first down. Tackle made by Michael Stewart.
You want to watch the Ram defensive line here as they come off the line of scrimmage. Peel and Wright, they read this draw right away. Peel is there, just can't make the tackle as Emmitt Smith surprises him with his strength, and he gets up close to the first down. But again, the Cowboys avoid a loss or a bad play, and through individual effort, first by Wright to get back to the line of scrimmage, and this time now by Smith, their athletic abilities keeping them in this drive.
Emmitt Smith has equaled the number of runs he had in the Sunday night game. Now the clock is a problem, and Aikman has to call timeout. Did he get it called in time? Yes, he did. There was 1 second left on the game clock. And so Aikman, like Everett did earlier, leading the Cowboys 7-0. Verne Lundquist and Dan Fouts at Anaheim Stadium. From the 22-yard line, however, the Cowboys with a 3rd and a foot. They bring in Robert Awalt and Louis Cheek for extra blocking help and line up in the eye. Emmitt Smith has the first down to the 15-yard line.
Well, Emmitt Smith is an outstanding back because of balance and strong legs. Watch the cut here as he gets through the hole. The vision, the strong cut off his right leg, and he picks up more than enough for the first down, and the Cowboys are at the 15-yard line.
Emmitt Smith with 30 yards on 7 carries. That is 1 more than he had against the 49ers. And we bring that up because he was very vocal of his discontent with the lack of number of carries. Smith again. Well, the Cowboys come in averaging only 237 yards on offense, and they have had particular problems inside the 20. They've been there 22 times, 7 touchdowns, 10 field goals, dead last in the league.
And it's a case of not really being together long enough to work on the finer points of the pass offense and even the running game. A lot of these guys did not make training camp for whatever reason, and so many of them are so young, especially at the skill positions on offense.
Matter of fact, Dan, the Cowboys have gone almost 138 minutes without a touchdown. Here's Aikman. Whoa, what a pop, but Novacek hangs on at the 11. That will be short of the first down. Brett Verne is with the tackle.
Verne is playing for Mike Wilcher, who was out with a concussion today, sustained last week against the Giants. This is a big hit right there. Perfect job of getting his head in front of Novacek, and Novacek did a super job of hanging on to that ball.
Cowboys' last touchdown came in a loss to the Philadelphia Eagles 2 games and a quarter ago. And we've got 29 seconds to go in the first quarter. 3rd and 5 from the 10. Aikman, fade pattern in the end zone. Wide open receiver, touchdown. Michael Irvin. Because of injury, only his 10th catch of the season. And the one-time #1 draft choice might have got away with a little shove, or there may have been a slip by the defender.
Well, Darrell Henley is the defender, and he can only watch this one from his belly. As he goes down right about there, it appeared he just tripped over the chalk stripe there at the goal line. Easy touchdown for Michael Irvin.
Michael Irvin's 2nd touchdown of the season, and Ken Willis is on to try and tie it up. So the Cowboys go almost 138 minutes between touchdowns. But But they get this one on 3rd and 5 from the 10. 7. And now the Rams, after the fine return by Gaston Green. Jim Everett back on 1st down. Incomplete for Del Pino across the middle. Everett, whose numbers are really comparable to the numbers he posted last year. The Rams a year ago were 5-4 after 9 games and went on a streak at the end of the season.
But lately his percentage of completion has been way down.
Right.
He's only throwing at 55% coming in, and 1 out of 6 is way below that.
And he had 3 interceptions against the Giants last week, so not coming off a good performance then. Final play of quarter number 1. They'll hand it off. Gary struggles to get to the 39. It'll be 3rd and long. That's the end of the first quarter with our score. The Los Angeles Rams 7. And number 2 just moments ago, wide receiver Alexander Wright of the Cowboys going into the locker room. Lacerations on his right kneecap. They're going to stitch him up and send him back.
Yeah, patch that tire.
7-7 ball game. Verne Lundquist and Dan Fouts from Anaheim. 3rd down for the Los Angeles Rams. Everett back. Cowboys stunt defensively. Everett with time. Aaron Cox hit from behind by Kenneth Gant. And the crowd thought there might have been preliminary contact, but no flag.
Well, when Jim Everett misses, he's going to miss high most of the time.
Why?
He gets back in the pocket really well, but he doesn't stride forward on this. Watch how the Cowboys are in a deep zone here. The ball will come in high. Gant makes a nice move on it, avoids the pass interference, and brings up this 4th down punt.
Kelvin Martin is back to return the punt. Recall that Derek Shepard was shaken up on a previous punt return effort. So the Cowboys getting short on wide receivers and punt returners. That's a short punt taken by Kelvin Martin. The flag is down, and so is Kelvin Martin. Flag thrown on the near side of the field. Mike McDonald is down to make the tackle. The man who snapped the ball. 35-yard punt and 4 on the return.
They're going to get Robert Williams for some type of illegal block, number 23.
Williams coming in to try and plead his case.
Yeah. No. What good does that do you? I mean, there is no jury here. It's a couple of judges, and that's about it. And none of them are Judge Wapner.
And the pronouncement, well, maybe. Let's talk about it some more.
Well, this is the appellate court. +1.
Oh.
Well.
See, Robert Williams won his case.
Only in Hollywood.
Personal foul. 15-yard face mask foul. Number 42, defense, enforced from the end of the play. 1st down.
They got Lattenberry there, and he was working against Robert Williams. And it always seems that it's against the returning team, but that's one against the Rams. And this, he had 15 yards to the punt return there.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives the Cowboys excellent field position at about the 45.
Now Lattenberry, the rookie from Oregon, trying to justify what happened. Time has been called on the field. 14:47 to go 1st half. We are not outgained the Rams. They got 45 on their last possession for a touchdown. The Rams TD came after a pick of an Aikman pass. Gary with 31 yards rushing and a touchdown, and Emmitt Smith 32 yards rushing thus far. After the penalty, we are back to play. Troy Aikman has Tommy Agee and Emmitt Smith in the backfield. 1st and 10 Dallas at their own 45-yard line. Emmitt Smith stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Kevin Green makes the tackle. There's an example of grasp and control on a running back. Your favorite topic, right?
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll have about 12 of them now that you brought it up.
I was looking at the cartoon Tank McNamara now. They've taken up your cause. Grasp and control.
Well, you know,
Get rid of it.
I'm getting some support from high places too.
Jim Finks.
You betcha. An old quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how us old quarterbacks don't want these young quarterbacks to get that advantage.
2nd and 10. 7-7 ball game. Rams are showing a blitz. Michael Stewart dancing around. He follows Novacek out. Aikman fires to Martin. And Kelvin Martin with a 1st down catch at the 41. Jerry Gray with the tackle.
You know, we've seen so many defenses by the Rams being zoned. Well, this one's a man-to-man. And this is where Aikman is strongest, throwing against man-to-man coverage. Martin gets inside, makes the grab of a perfectly thrown ball, and the Cowboys are moving. Now they're down to the 40-yard line. Field position is really helping the Cowboys in the last 2 drives. They had 45 yards to go on their last drive, and here for a touchdown they only need to go 55 yards, so they're only playing on half a field.
That's 4 in a row for Troy Aikman. Kelvin Martin with 38 grabs coming in. He is second in receiving on the Cowboys to the tight end Jay Novacek. 1st and 10 from the 40. Deep left side, overthrown the intended receiver Michael Everett. Lewis Cheek had come into the offensive line at right tackle in place of Nate Newton. Cheek, number 72, one of the Plan B acquisitions of the Cowboys. Well, you're looking at Michael Irvin. Jimmy Johnson waived Dennis McKinnon, wide receiver, one of the Plan B acquisitions earlier this week. And now Wright is in the locker room, and Shepard, we have an update on his condition. He's got a sore back and could play if needed, but only 2 healthy wide receivers.
And isn't that the way it goes? When things go bad, it seems like everything goes bad. Here they make a decision to waive a guy. They start the week with 5 wide receivers, and now they're in the 2nd quarter of a ball game with just 2 healthy ones.
2nd and 10. Blitz from the outside. Aikman in as he lets it go. That quack is incomplete. As Kelm and Stams and Green, all 3 went up for it. And none came down with it.
Well, that's why they're all playing defense. You know, if they could catch, they'd probably be playing wide receiver, tight end, or running back. That ball was up in the air. You think that one of them would have said, you know, I got it. You know, like the baseball outfielders or something. Yeah, watch this ball. There's 3 guys around it. Let's see who blocks it. He gets hit from the blind side there. Look at these linebackers. They're going to be laughing about that come Monday, or crying about it if they don't win this ball game.
Well, it will not surprise you that none of those 3 has an interception this year. 3rd and 10. Aikman fires to Smith. That's an incomplete pass.
Well, that's a heck of a call by the umpire, Ed Kukart, number 71, because Smith is really battling for possession of this pass. Here he is at the tailback. He'll circle out of the backfield. He is Aikman's outlet, and he reaches back, never has it completely in his grasp, and that's a wonderful call by the referee.
That is a good call.
Grabs it with his left hand. Now it looks like he's going to do a around the back pass on the fast break, and he just never quite got it, and he wasn't sure if he had possession himself. You saw how he went down after that ball.
Mike Saxon high, and that will bounce and be down at the 2-yard line. Mike Saxon, who is 3rd in the league and punts down inside the 20, has a bonus clause in his contract, 3.3 yards per punt average. He has 3 clauses in his contract, $25,000 each. If he leads the league in net punting, gross punting, or punts down inside the 20. And he's got a shot at winning all 3 of those before the season's over. He's having a terrific year. On 1st down, Cleveland, Gary slips and is down at the 2.
You know, the Rams got used to this last week. Sean Landetta of the Giants pinned them back with great punts down inside the 5. This is tough area to work from. Not much room for error here. There's the error as Gary goes down. The ball was fumbled, but he recovered, and the ground caused that fumble. So it would not have counted if Cowboys had come up with that one.
2nd time now in the last 2 possessions. The Rams have been inside their own 10, and Everett will throw from the end zone. Left side, wide open receiver, Henry Ellard. Oh, boy, they worked on Manny Hendricks, and he turned Hendricks completely around.
And you wonder why Hendricks is in the game now instead of Gant. Gant had been playing awfully well, made a couple of plays on Ellard, but this was perfect timing from quarterback to wide receiver, and Hendricks just giving up too much ground to Ellard, defending against that long bomb.
That's a 1st down at the 17. Clock shows 12 minutes to go in the 1st half to play. The game tied at 7. Jerome Johnson starts in motion. Gary Runs into Gene Lockhart, the middle linebacker.
Gary is a good inside runner. He's has good vision, and he cuts back well. In fact, talking to Jimmy Johnson yesterday, who coached him at the University of Miami, he said that he and Emmitt Smith are very similar. Both he projects Smith to be an outstanding receiver in the near future, and Gary is already coming out of the backfield.
2nd and 6. They hand it off to Gary, and Gary is cut down at the 21-yard line by Jim Jeffcoat. Now one of the aging veterans of this Cowboy team, John Robinson, said he doesn't want to change anything, even though they're 3 and 6. He doesn't want to get completely away from what has become a diversified offense.
Yeah, if you treat people a certain way when you're winning, then he feels you have to treat those same people the same way, even though things are going against you. And he's been very consistent in the way he's dealt with the players and with the media and the fans here in L.A.
3rd and 6. Everett pumps once, goes deep, man wide open. Receiver slip, ball caught. Flag is down. Flipper Anderson will have a touchdown if the play stands at 79 yards. There is a flag at the line of scrimmage.
And it's against the Rams, illegal motion. And boy, you talk about the frustration. Last week, Everett threw a perfect pass to Flipper Anderson that he dropped in the secondary. Would have been an easy touchdown. Here they bombs away from about 80 yards, 78 yards or so.
Illegal motion.
And it'll all come back.
Number 84, offense.
Oh, this is really tough because that's Aaron Cox.
3rd down.
On the entire other side of the formation, Everett had Cox running a deep pattern. He had Anderson on the near side with a deep pattern, and those receivers know that Everett can choose between the two of them. Well, Jim picked the right guy. The wrong guy was offsides.
That's a 79-yard pass play to the touchdown, wiped out. And there's Aaron Cox.
A 79-yard penalty, in effect. Add 5 to that 84 yards, plus 7 points.
And a 3rd and 11 from the 15. Across the middle. Flipper Anderson, first down at the 41. They picked on Ray Horton and Kenneth Gant and gained 26.
And Gant was the guy that Anderson beat on the long bomb. Here he's going to run the post pattern. Perfect throw right in the seam. Gant with the close coverage, but not close enough. That's really responding to adversity by the Rams offense. The offensive line gave Jim Everett enough time, and he threw his best pass of the day.
Kenneth Gant gets a rest on first down and 10. Cowboys have Stubbs and Hamill and Noonan and Jeffcoat up front. Everett with time, right side. Oh, boy. Flag is down as Isaac Holt came over the top. Holt was going for the pick. He had his eyes on the interception. And James Washington, the former Ram, argues the cause.
This is a case of being just too good. Holt read this pattern all the way, broke on the ball, but the ball was kind of a lazy spiral. And he got there a little bit too early.
Number 30, defense. First down.
What he did is he got over the back with his hand, but his body hits the receiver right there. Look at the right hand, knocked the ball away. Boy, I tell you what, if that's pass interference, I'll eat that helmet right there. That's an all-pro play by Isaac Holt. Watch the break on the ball. He does everything he possibly can to get to the ball and give Henry Ellard an assist for coming up and screening the defensive back away with his body.
A 13-yard penalty, first of the game. Everett with play action, left side to Holohan. And Ken Norton makes a nice open field tackle after a gain of just a couple. Jimmy Johnson saying yesterday that Ken Norton is playing as well defensively as almost anybody on that Cowboy unit.
You remember 2 years ago in training camp when Johnson took over, Norton was a strong side linebacker, and they weren't getting the production out of him that they felt they needed out of a high round pick like Norton was. And so they moved him to the weak side with the expectation that someday he would play as he's playing now.
Second down. This drive highlighted by a 26-yard pass on 3rd and 11. And here's Gaston Green, who had a 31-yard run last week, his longest of his career, short career here.
And his only carry last week.
Yeah.
And one thing that it seems like what happens with the Rams after a lot of losses when Gaston Green gets in the game for a little bit is Robinson will say, geez, I wish I would have played Gaston Green more in the ball game. Making a conscious effort here today to get him in there, and that was a nice gain.
3rd and 1. 7-7 game, 8:20 to go, first half. Cleveland Gary back in, and he'll move the change. That's a first down at the 35-yard line. Just to recap this current drive, Mike Saxon had a punt down at the 2-yard line. The Rams moved it out to the 21, where they connected on a 79-yard touchdown pass to Flipper Anderson, but it was negated by a penalty. Came right back, 26-yard pass to Flipper Anderson for the first down. A pass interference call on Isaac Holt gave the Rams another first down, and here they are at the 34. 10th play of the drive coming up, and they've used 5 minutes. Left side for Delpino, nice grab, and James Washington falls on top of him. Washington, another of the Plan B acquisitions. He was let go by the Rams.
There was a case of Everett throwing off his back foot and it really costing his offense, because Delpino ran a quick hitch and had the ball. There's Everett just fading away with that pass. Look at that wonderful catch, and the poor guy, all he can do is make the grab, fall down, and take a lick in the back. If he is delivered a good pass, he might be able to use some of that running back ability and pick up some extra yards.
2nd down and 8. Everett with the blitz in his face, connects in the pass anyway. That's another Ram first down on the right side. Flipper Anderson with the catch, a gain of 10. And Jim Everett had to stand strong that time.
Yeah, he got tagged a little bit here, and here he'll throw off the back foot for good reason. Somebody's standing on his front foot. There's the pressure, there's the hit. That's Ken Norton right there. And the grab on the outside. Flipper Anderson picks up another one.
1st and 10 at the 22. So the Rams have moved from their own 2-yard line to the Cowboy 22. We are still tied 7-7 with 6:22 to go. And now the Rams use their second of 3 first half timeouts.
Well, I think that pop by Norton broke Everett's shoulder pads there. He came over to the sidelines, and he's getting a new set of laces on those shoulder pads.
Or something.
It's going to be a bullseye shot for Ken Norton. He'll come from the left side of the screen, and he'll bury his helmet right in Everett's throat. And that popped loose his shoulder pads and also rang the quarterback's bell.
Everett back in now after the equipment repairs. 1st and 10. Henry Ellard at the 5. 1st and goal, Los Angeles. And they picked on Manny Hendricks again.
Everett, remember, had a slow start. It was just 1 out of 6 to begin this ball game. He is really throwing the ball well now, but look at, there's nobody near him. Good job by that offensive line. There's that deep out pattern again, and this time, instead of Kenneth Gant, it's Manny Hendricks' turn to feel the fire.
Well, things have improved appreciably for Everett in quarter number 2, where he's now 6 of 7 for 72 yards. And the Rams have moved from their own 2 to the Cowboy 5. 1st and goal. Backs in the eye. Cleveland Gary goes right. Gene Lockhart cannot keep him out of the end zone. Touchdown, L.A. What a drive put together by the Los Angeles Rams. 98 yards.
And these guys will remember this drive forever, because you don't have many 98, 99-yard drives. Watch the strength of Cleveland Gary as he meets Lockhart a yard beyond the line of scrimmage, and he just carries Lockhart into the end zone for an L.A. touchdown.
The clock, the scoreboard clock, never stopped after the touchdown. And it's flashing now. It's still going. They still haven't stopped it. So we have a malfunction with the clock, or a very slow clock operator.
Somebody wake up the clock operator. He's got his finger on the wrong button there. Watch the collision right here And the key to it is that Cleveland Gary got his shoulder pads lower than Lockhart's, and with that leverage and that strength, there's no way the hitman could have kept Cleveland Gary out of that end zone. How's that clock doing, Verne? Still rolling, huh?
Snooze alarm hasn't gone off yet. Jim Everett has taken off his jersey while the clock continues to roll on down.
See, there are those new laces he's getting there. You know you've been hit when you pop your laces.
Obviously, the clock is malfunctioning. We're having a little fun with the clock operator. You can see that it's not exactly in A1 condition, so they will keep the time on the field.
And that's amazing. How many years ago we put a man on the moon?
So McElwee is explaining now to Babe Laufenberg and Jimmy Johnson that there's a problem with the clock.
I think he was just explaining it to Jimmy Johnson.
Laufenberg wanted to get into the picture. 12 plays, 98 yards, 7:21.
That is an outstanding drive in any game at any time, to drive it literally the length of the field for the touchdown. And remember, the Rams had done it a lot sooner with that 79-yard bomb to Flipper Anderson, except his buddy Aaron Cox was offsides on the play.
Well, someone has found the necessity for one more huddle of the officials.
And do we really need the clock at this point?
They do take their time, and it does add to the length of games.
Yeah, it's almost as if they weren't part of the thing in the offseason where the league officials decided to speed the game up with all these rule changes. And the poor guys in the striped shirts, they have a way of dragging it down.
They're still talking.
Interesting how the wild card races are going to end up. You see some teams put on a little spurt for 2 or 3 games, and other teams go the other direction. Crazy year so far.
Now we're set, and the clock will be, the time will be kept on the field. Mike Lansford for the extra point.
Cross start, 72 offense.
It's Robert Cox, and that means they'll walk off 5 yards, and Lansford will try it again.
You really can't blame Robert Cox. He's probably still thinking about that game yesterday up at the Rose Bowl.
Oh.
Where his Bruins took it on the chin with a couple of seconds left. And the Trojans.
That game was almost as exciting in the Oregon State game, which wound up same point differential, 6-3. I'll get that in before you do. Here's Lansford. It's good. And Jim Everett, Cleveland Gary, engineer of the 98-yard touchdown drive that has put the Rams on top. Rams go on top, a 4-yard touchdown by Cleveland Gary, his second TD run of the afternoon, and they go 98 yards for the go-ahead score. 14-7, officially 5:27 to go first half. And again, a malfunctioning game clock, so the clock will be the time we kept on the field. That'll go through the end zone, touch back, and come out to the 20-yard line. Well, college football next Friday. It begins at 2:30 Eastern time. Andrew Joyce and Mike Francesa on college football today. And that'll be followed by the war in the Big 8, Nebraska and Oklahoma, Friday at 2:30 Eastern time. Nebraska with just the 1 loss to the CU Buffs. Oklahoma had a mid-season string of problems, but that's an annual one. Nebraska, Oklahoma.
That is always a great one. You always think back of that
1971 game.
All those battles between Johnny Rodgers and Greg Pruitt.
By the way, Jack Mildren has been elected Lieutenant Governor of Oklahoma.
Congratulations.
The quarterback who was one of the great wishbone quarterbacks and played in that 71 game. First and 10. Aikman, Novacek, or no, it's Robert Awald instead, number 89, who also played for the Phoenix Cardinals last year. Novacek signed as a Plan B player by the Cowboys from the Cardinals, and then they went and traded for Awald.
You know, they're such interchangeable parts, too. They look very similar out there. Awald is maybe the better blocker, but Novacek is the better receiver. But, you know, Awald played at San Diego State where they throw the ball all over the place. So the Cowboys have really improved that position.
Second short. Aikman for Emmett Smith. Big hole. And it's a foot race as he goes left. Jerry Gray gives chase. And they catch him from behind. It was Gray and Bobby Humphrey. And there is a flag in the backfield, but it's against the Rams. The play will stand.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer, 91. Late hit. Late hit.
This is the best play for the Cowboys all year long. Aikman had to take a cheap shot after he delivers this ball from number 99.
91.
91, yeah, there it is. Actually, it's number 52. They got it all mixed up. But watch this play in the secondary. Emmett Smith in the open field, and he never sees Bobby Humphrey come from the right side of the screen here. Fine play. Gray was going to get him anyway, but Humphrey never quit on the play. But the Cowboys, with that penalty, half the distance to the goal line. Now they're inside the 10-yard line.
They called it on Kevin Green. It could have been Larry Kelm. 91 and 52. And Jimmy Johnson looks on after his team has gained 57 yards on that pass play, and then the half the distance they got the ball. First and goal from the 7. Emmett Smith picked up 1 at right guard.
Boy, I don't understand that at all. Here the guy has to run all the way down the field, make about 12 great moves, and they don't take him out for a breather. He's back in there, and not only that, they give him the ball on the very next play. How is he going to be able to perform? He's got to be winded. He's got to be tired.
Well, I think, Dan, things like that are the reasons there's so much conversation about the Cowboys' offensive scheme in Dallas.
Well, it just doesn't make sense there. Look, he's still winded. He's tired. He should be on the bench, you know, getting slapped on the back and congratulated instead of being handed the ball right now. Second down and goal.
A.G. right, Smith left. Smith with a block. The pass to A.G. and he is in for the touchdown.
You know, we talked about the Rams, and they've had some problems with their defense this year. We saw that Kevin Green was playing pass defense before. This isn't what Kevin Green does best. Here he is, number 91. He makes a play on the ball right there. A.G. makes the grab and gets in the end zone, but gee, if you're the Ram coaching staff, wouldn't you rather have Kevin Green going after the quarterback?
And just a little tiny moment on that play, Emmitt Smith put a fine block on a blitzing linebacker to give Aikman time to throw the ball.
And you know, it's nice they're not reviewing this.
Yes.
I was expecting to hold up play and have a review on this, but he was clearly in the end zone.
Ken Willis with the extra point. Only the third time that Troy Aikman has connected for 2 touchdown passes in a game this year.
And you wonder why they didn't replay this to take a look at it. A.G. will have the ball in his left hand. Newsome comes over and knocks him out of bounds. The referee is right there. His left foot gets in. His right foot does not. It lands on the pylon. Referee calls touchdown, and the replay official agreed.
Replay official Tom Kelleher. 80 yards. The highlight, of course, the 57-yard pass to Emmitt Smith. And Troy Aikman, for only the third time in his career, has connected on 2 touchdown passes in the same game. Ken Willis will kick it deep. Gaston Green and Robert Del Pino wait for it. We are tied at 14. Gaston Green bobbles the ball. And is cut down at the 11-yard line. Darrell Johnston was down on special teams to make the tackle.
Well, the Rams had a 98-yard drive. The Cowboys answer with an 80-yard drive. And now the Rams, all they have to do is come back with a 89-yarder. This is like hockey, end-to-end action.
Officially, there's about, let me try that over. Before the kickoff, there was 3:29 left in the first half, so it's about 3:22.
Well, how come the clock says 12:16?
Well, because the clock and I are both confused. First and 10. They'll hand it off to Cleveland Gary coming left. And he's out to the 15-yard line. The tackle made by Danny Noonan, number 73.
This is really a difficult situation for a quarterback, not knowing exactly how much time is on the clock. because you get down to this situation here, and every second counts.
Can you just ask the official how much time between plays?
Well, the official is not keeping it on the field. It's someone else. It's usually the back judge or even somebody on the sidelines is keeping the official time in these situations.
Everett back, right side for Delfino, chased by Ken Norton, and tackled at the 21-yard line, fumbled out of bounds. And did he get enough for the first down?
Well, they're signaling that it's Cowboy possession, and that signal is the same as if a first down signal, but he fumbled the ball backwards and lost a yard, and this will bring up third down. Or rather, Ram possession.
Ram possession. So they do say fumbled out of bounds. That leaves the ball at the 20 and a yard short of the first down. Now Holohan comes in with a play, which he will give to Jim Everett. There's Pete Holohan, number 81. And Buford McGee comes out. 3rd and 1. Somewhere near 3 minutes left. Here's Everett back on 3rd and short. Safety valve pass to Cleveland Gary. Slipped short of the first down. He did not pick up the first down at the 20. Ken Norton was there with him.
Yeah, and it was real questionable whether he would have picked it up anyway if he had not slipped, because Norton was staring him right in the eyeballs, was ready to drill him. Cowboys, I believe, call the timeout here, which is a good move. They'll get the ball back with good field position and plenty of time to get some extra money.
Cowboys used their second timeout. That stops the clock with more than 2 minutes remaining, but we're not sure how many more than 2 because the clocks are not operating. Well, they're operating. They're just operating incorrectly. We got one clock running over here that shows 11 minutes and 9 seconds to go. Yeah, there you go. And that's very confusing because that's what the players in the field can see when they look up.
Yeah, and I have no idea why they're letting it run. Why don't they just shut it off and repair it? Because here you are, you're down on the field. What happens when this clock gets down to where it's close to the actual time?
Now they stop it inexplicably. There are 2 minutes and 9 seconds remaining, so that was a fine timeout taken by the Cowboys, and they've got one left. Johnson and Aikman chatting about the next offensive set for the Cowboys. Kelvin Martin replaces Derek Shepard, and he's back to return the punt. And he's waiting at the 45-yard line for Keith English's punt, so Dallas should come out of this with good position, good shape. Here comes Isaac Holt. He pulls up, and English with a fine punt at the 32-yard line. Martin comes right and then dives through to the 41-yard line. That's a 47-yard punt by Keith English and 8 on the return.
And a fine job by Martin realizing his role. He's not going to run it all the way back. Get as much as you can, get down on the ground, and let your offense come out on the field. You've given him the ball with 60 yards to go for a touchdown.
We are at the 2-minute warning. The Cowboys and the Rams are tied 14-14. Well, advanced technology very much a part of the National Football League on Sunday afternoons, Dan.
Yeah, we used to use Polaroids, and they'd have to run them down to the sidelines, or the coaches would just flip them out of the box and hope they landed down there. This is a video printer here, and they are taking it right off of their own cameras. Each team has a set of cameras in the end zone, and they can take a picture of the personnel that's in the ball game and the different alignments.
Ball on the 40-yard line.
1:58 to go first half. Again, the clock malfunctioning, time being kept on the field. Cowboys tied with the Rams at 14. Kevin Green coming after Aikman. That is a forward pass, incomplete. Bob McElwee so indicates, so it'll be 2nd down and 10. Kevin Green was right there.
Well, and he's rushing the passer, and those are the results. He damn near takes Aikman's arm off here at the elbow. But he does get it going forward, and it's a forward pass there. A good call by McElwee, but that has to hurt Troy Aikman.
That was Robert Awald, who was trying to block Kevin Green, who has 6 sacks now, 16.5 a year ago. He had 2 last week. Early in the season, they had him lined up both at left side and right side, and he was very ineffective. Now he's back, and there's much more accustomed position on the left side. Aikman back, fires it from Novacek, picks up about 5 flags down in the offensive backfield. So this play could be wiped out. Will be, or the option will rest with LA.
Illegal use of the hands against the Cowboys.
Number 68, offense, hands to the face. 10 yards, second down.
That's on Crawford Kerr, the left guard.
And that's really a tough call against an offensive lineman because they're taught to hit the man that's coming at him in the chest to stop his momentum. And oftentimes what happens is those hands go right up the chest, right up into the face mask, and that's all the referee usually sees.
Second and 20.
Be a second down and 20.
1 minute 42 seconds remaining in the
Now the Rams only have one timeout here. Remember, Everett had to call one for an equipment repair, and then he had to call one because of personnel problems. That could come back to hurt LA if they can stop the Cowboys here.
4-man rush by the Rams. Wilcher coming from the outside, and whoa! Aikman puts that on a string to Bob Awalt.
Boy, he had to, too, and that was a heck of a catch. That's one of those self-defense catches. That ball just is there. It sticks on you like a dart.
On third down, the Cowboys will go with the hurry-up offense, something less than 1:40 remaining in the half. 3rd and 11. Stepnoski snaps it back. Deep left side, man open. And the pass is caught at the 20. No flags, touchdown Dallas. Michael Irvin, 61 yards.
I got a feeling Troy Aikman likes playing against the Rams. Last year, 4 touchdowns against the Rams in Dallas. Take a look at the secondary. On the top of the screen is Bobby Humphrey, number 48. Irvin blows by him. The ball is a little bit late. Irvin has to clutch, double clutch, come back for it. Then it's all speed getting into the end zone. Humphrey's not going to catch him this time.
And the Dallas Cowboys, playing their 11th game, have a chance to surpass with this extra point their previous high number of points posted in a single game. They scored 20 against Philadelphia. And they now have 21. Michael Irvin, 2 touchdown grabs. This one for 61 yards. It breaks the tie and puts the Cowboys on top. Dallas Cowboys, in posting a 3-7 record, have previously scored 20 against Philadelphia. They've now scored more points in this half than they have in a single game all year.
And you know, we talked about something had to give in this ball game. The Rams had given up 31 scores on the year. The Cowboys had only scored 10 times. You figure one side is going to have an advantage. Right now, the Cowboys, with 3 touchdown passes from Troy Aikman, they're getting well in a hurry thanks to a very, very poor pass defense by the LA Rams.
Ken Willis will kick off. 1:07 remaining now in the first half of play. Again, a malfunctioning clock. That's a very short kick taken at the 17 by Captain Green. Down at the 30-yard line. Jim Everett comes on with about a minute to go. And the scoring drive for the Cowboys, they overcame a 2nd and 20. Took them only 3 plays, 59 yards in the 61-yard pass play. Michael Irvin from Troy Aikman.
You know, so it says 59 yards on the drive. Actually, it should say 69 because of that 10-yard penalty.
1:01, and we are now told that the clock has been fixed, so that is the correct time. 1:01 to go, first half from the 30-yard line. Everett is 9 of 15 for 90 yards. 1 timeout left for the Rams. Everett rolls left, good protection. Whoops. Dropped at the 24. Jimmy Jones and Jim Jeffco. And Jimmy Jones, rookie from Miami, who played for Jimmy Johnson at the university.
Well, you talk about a strange call. Jim Everett is not the niftiest quarterback in the league, and he's on the roll out there trying to get away from just a 3-man pass rush.
Clock shows 45 seconds to go, and again a 3-man rush. Everett deep, incomplete. Robert Williams and James Washington were closest to the ball, and they both wear white jerseys.
Well, and Robert Williams is now playing that right corner position that the Rams have been picking on. They took apart Kenneth Gant and Manny Hendricks, and now it's Robert Williams' turn.
Well, Williams started the season as the starter there and lost his job.
Well, he was a starter last year. In fact, I remember Everson Walls telling me that we call him the pit bull because he's such a tenacious pass cover.
3rd and 16 with 40 seconds to go. Everett settles short. Buford McGee down at the 32, and the Cowboys will use their final timeout.
A real good job of using what you have as far as your timeouts. Good clock management by the Cowboys. 31 seconds to go. Force the Rams into a punting situation, and look for the Cowboys to come after this one.
Dallas now out of timeouts, and Keith English is on. John Robinson said in talking to his squad at 5 o'clock last night, he talked about courage and wanting to use the rest of the season to show what you're made of. How will you respond to this adversity? I don't think he likes what he's seen today. Not that they've shown any lack of courage, but so they're not talking playoffs or wild card. They're simply trying to play one game at a time and get this thing righted.
This is where Robinson has to be worried, because the Cowboys have blocked a punt this year. Isaac Holt against the Eagles, and he's in there right now on the right side, and he came close to the last English punt.
Sure did. He pulled up just as English was about to deliver the ball. So Isaac Holt, number 30 on the right side. Now he'll move around, and Kenneth Gant widens out. The Rams are trying to account for all the personnel as the Cowboys keep shifting. And good blocking and a fine punt. Kelvin Martin over the shoulder into the sun at 15. Back to the 24-yard line. Now coming up at halftime, Greg and Terry back in our New York studios with scores and highlights of all of the games that are currently in progress, as well as all of those that finished earlier today. How about Philadelphia coming from behind and defeating Atlanta? Greg and Terry with scores and highlights, and we're just about there. Now the clock has gone funny on us again.
Depends on your point of view, but you know, if trends mean anything in this league, the Rams are in trouble today, because they have a 3-6 record coming in today, and their 3 wins they've led at halftime. That he's called upon, and 8 of his 10 throws, or 8 of his 18 throws, have been under 10 yards long. So he has taken what the defense has given him, and he's executing David Shula's offense as well as they have all year.
And as a result, the Cowboys are up 21-14. Remember back in the first quarter when their average yard per play was 1.1. Now they've increased that at 221 yards. This is a team that has averaged 237 per game, and they've got 221 at halftime, and a 7-point lead for Jim Everett. Pretty decent second quarter, but then things have not gone well for his defensive teammates.
Yeah, and the Rams are in a very similar and familiar situation as they have been in almost too much this year, that of having to come from behind. It's going to be a shootout in this second half, and fortunately for the Rams, they have the personnel to win any shootout.
Remember yesterday when you and I were chatting with Jimmy Johnson while the Cowboys had a walkthrough here, you mentioned to him you thought it was going to be a 40-40 game, and he looked at you in shock.
Well, what I remembered was last year's game between these two ball clubs when the Cowboys led the Rams 31-21 late in the fourth quarter. And it ended up 35-31, but the Cowboys are better personnel-wise this year, so I expect it to be that type of game, and we're halfway there.
The clock is not operating. It operated perfectly during halftime. So the band got on and off on time. Robert Del Pino takes the second half kickoff, and he's spilled at the 24-yard line. So Jim Everett gets set to come on, having hit 10 of 17 for 99 yards, a 19-yard return on the Del Pino kickoff.
Stop by Johnson.
And the Rams take over at their own 24-yard line.
And Everett may be in a slump, and the only way that he'll deny it and Robinson will deny it, but in the last 3.5 games, only 1 touchdown pass for Jim Everett and 6 interceptions. He hasn't thrown any of either so far today.
1st and 10. 21-14. Damone Johnson starts in motion. Gary starts left and cuts back and nudges it out to the 27-yard line, where Daniel Stubbs makes the tackle. Gary now with 51 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Everett did have a 79-yard pass for a touchdown to Flipper Anderson, called back because of a penalty. The Rams overcame that negation and got the touchdown, a 98-yard drive for their 2nd touchdown of the game. And again, the clock not operating, so we'll try and keep you honest with the time as often as we can. Gary starts to the right side. Big hole. Now the race is on with James Washington. And Washington and Holt catch up and haul Gary down. But not until he gets to the 24-yard line.
And no penalty flags on this play, so this one's going to stand. This is Gary's longest run of the year. And he's just coming off the right side. Newberry with the pull right there gets the block on the linebacker Lockhart. And surprise, Gary is into the secondary. Washington has more speed than Gary has, and Holt jumps on for the ride as well. This is the Rams' best running play in about 2 or 3 months. Simple play right up the middle, the key block by Tom Newberry. Gary protects the ball and makes it as difficult as possible for 2 Cowboys to bring him down.
And Holt is hurt. He is on the sidelines. Isaac Holt, who helped James Washington make that tackle. Cleveland Gary more than doubled his previous long run of the season. It had been 23 yards. He picked up 48 on that tote.
And those 2 touchdowns now give him 9 on the year. And the only other guy that had scored a touchdown for the Rams rushing was Kurt Warner, and that was in the very first game of the year against Green Bay. So you know who's going to get the ball when the Rams get close. Cleveland Gary. Take a look at how Isaac Holt was hurt on this play. He's going to jump on Gary's back and try and strip the ball with his right hand. Doesn't get that accomplished, and now he gets the whole pile right on top of him as he hits the ground and knocks the wind out of himself. We hope that's all it is.
Isaac Holt is still down.
Yeah, he reached for his back there at the end of that. But the Cowboys cannot afford to lose this man. He is having an outstanding year and very reminiscent of the player that he replaced, number 24 for the Cowboys, Everson Walls, who's not having a bad season himself up in New York.
Everson Walls has gone to the Cowboys, or the Giants, where he has 5 interceptions for the season. Time has been called while they tend to Isaac Holt. We'll be right back. Making the long trek from one side of the field to the other with assistance, and we'll get a report from the team bench in just a moment. There is Bill Reynolds, the line judge. He is responsible for keeping the time. And we are told now that the clock, well, a moment ago during the timeout, it had the correct time at 13 minutes and 47 seconds. And of course, having said that, it immediately goes to 0-0. So let's trust Bill Reynolds to keep the time on the field.
Yeah, don't get hurt, Bill. We'd be lost without you.
After the 48-yard run, Gaston Green gets tripped up. Well, there's a difference in philosophy. After Cleveland Gary made that 48-yard run, they took him out, let him rest to play, put Green in. Recall that earlier the Cowboys had a 57-yard pass to Emmitt Smith and then handed him the ball in the next play where he was stopped for no gain.
Well, and a lot of that is personnel. The Rams can go to Gaston Green, whereas the Cowboys would have to go to James Dixon, and he's a converted wide receiver. So the personnel favors the Rams, and in fact, Cleveland Gary's back in the lineup now.
Second down, Everett back. Right side for Aaron Cox, bobbled and dropped. Oh, he had it. And that has been a problem for the Ram receivers in recent weeks.
You know, when you throw a strike, you expect the umpire to call strike, and this one It's almost as if you throw a strike and the guy hits it out of the park. Everett throws a perfect pass, and Aaron Cox just no excuse for that one. He wasn't even close to the sidelines or a defender, just flat out dropped it.
And that leads the Rams facing a 3rd and 10. Holohan and Cox go wide to the left side. Clipper Anderson and Derek Faison come wide right. And the drop play. Buford McGee to the 10. What a dandy call.
Yeah, the Rams really spread out the entire Cowboys secondary, and watch as they hand the draw to McGee. Good block there by number 67 Duval Love, and James Washington makes an outstanding tackle. Middle of the field, McGee put every move he had on him, and Washington stayed with him and brought him down at the 10-yard line. There's the trap block. Newberry and Duval Love, and McGee is one step away from getting in the end zone.
Cox wide left, the pitch out. Cleveland Gary comes right, cut down for a loss of a half a yard. So the Rams trying to tie it up on the opening series of quarter number 3. And they have used a 48-yard run by Cleveland Gary to get this deep in Cowboy territory. 100-yard day for Cleveland Gary on 15 carries. 2nd down from the 11.
We're told that Henry Ellard will not play the rest of this game because he has aggravated a sore left hamstring. He was doubtful coming into the game, was pronounced fit enough, but that hamstring's giving him problems.
Del Pino out of the backfield. Everett. Flag in the end zone. Manny Hendricks over the back of Pete Holohan. It'll be 1st and goal.
Well, the Cowboys are in real trouble with Isaac Holt out of the game. They got to spread this.
45 defense, 1st down.
The soon becoming beleaguered secondary thin. Number 45 is Hendricks working against 81 Holohan to the left side here. Everett does a nice job of letting the ball go and throwing it in the only place that Holohan could have made the grab.
Number 67 reports to an eligible position.
That is Duval Love, and we saw them in practice yesterday throw a touchdown or throw a pass to Duval Love. He is eligible. He winds up on the left side.
Yeah, but he's not going to get this one. This is Gary right up the middle.
You called it. They should have thrown it to him.
That's one of those desperation things. The Rams aren't quite desperate yet.
Duval Love hopes they are.
No offense, Duval, but you can put those big gloves on for blocking.
He was really funny yesterday when he caught the pass. He's got the spike move down.
He really does, and his players, his teammates on that offensive line, they were practicing how they're going to congratulate him as well.
2nd down and goal.
See, he's got those gloves on. There's no way. Yesterday he didn't have those gloves on.
That's right. Gary, touchdown Rams. Number 3 for the afternoon for Cleveland Gary.
And that is John Robinson style football. Sam the Bam Cunningham, Marcus Allen, Greg Bell, you name them, they all know how to do this. Up and over and in. Half a yard away, pretty easy to call this play. That's the old blast play, and Gary blasts his way in for 6.
Mike Lansford will attempt the extra
Mike
point.
Lansford to try and tie it up.
And did you see the first guy to congratulate him was Duval Love?
That's right. Holohan will hold. Mike McDonald will snap it back. Los Angeles Rams use a 48-yard run by that man to set up a 1-yard run by that man. Derek Shepard. It's Shepard at the 15-yard line. Lot of room. Flag is down. They may bring this back. Shepard out to the 48-yard line, but check the infraction. Anthony Newman made the tackle. And wipe out the fine return.
This is a real shame because this...
Number 99 on the receivers, holding on a run back. 10 yards.
That penalty by David Howard happened way far away from where the hole was. Unnecessary hold.
Good crowd at Anaheim Stadium in Anaheim, California. Verne Lundquist and Dan Fouts, and a good game as well. The Cowboys and the Rams 21-all. Dallas fell behind 7-0. Came back to tie it, then the Rams went on top. Dallas with 2 more touchdowns in the second quarter had a 21-14 lead at the half, and the Rams just came back to tie. Now Troy Aikman, who has thrown for 3 touchdowns, goes back on first down. Left side, Kelvin Martin as Jerry Gray slipped trying to cover him, and that's a gain out to the 39-yard line.
And Jerry Gray is going to be playing the right side here. He's normally a left cornerback, and he's not healthy. You see that he slips down there. He's working on a bad knee, and an easy reception and a nice way to start your first play and your first possession in the second half.
Second catch for Kelvin Martin in the game. He comes wide to the left. Michael Irvin goes wide right. After the gain of 15, it's first down at the 39. Short drop by Aikman. Flips it out to Emmitt Smith. Weaves out of a tackle and finds more yardage, and a flag is down. We might have a face mask. As Smith picks up a first down at the 47-yard line. It was Mike Peel who came back to make the stop.
5-yard face mask foul. Number 25 defense. Enforced from the end of the play. 5 yards.
Well, plays like this are why Emmitt Smith was picked number 1 by the Cowboys. He makes Gray miss and then Stams, and now the penalty is not on Jerry Gray, it's on Vince Newsom, who took a swipe at Smith with his left hand and just got a little piece of the face mask. There it is right there, and the tackle by Mike Peel, but Emmitt Smith broke 2 tackles there and picked up some nice yardage.
Backs are split behind Aikman. Gain of 13 on the last play. Aikman with a deep drop this time, deep right side. And it's up for grabs, incomplete. Underthrown, and Darrell Henley was back with excellent coverage on Michael Irvin.
Well, we talked about Jerry Gray moving over to the right side for Bobby Humphrey. Well, this is Darrell Henley, number 20, at the top of the screen, and he does an outstanding job of watching this ball and the receiver. But Aikman throws this ball short. You can see that Irvin was going to be behind the secondary here, but the ball comes up short. Both players have to stop, and it's a jump ball. And luckily for the Cowboys, Irvin strips the ball out of Henley's hands.
Yeah, Irvin turned defender on the play, and that brings up a 2nd and 10. Ball play, Emmitt Smith breaks into the open and booms down inside the 35 to the 31-yard line. A 12-yard gain for Emmitt Smith.
Well, some real key blocks up in front here. Watch how Smith, very patient as he takes the draw play from Aikman. Fine lead block by Tommy Agee, number 34, and just a little gap there, and he scooted through and picks up a first down.
Emmitt Smith with 54 yards on 12 carries. Agee starts right, cuts back to the left, goes inside the 30. And down to the 28-yard line, Alvin Wright, number 99, with the tackle. 21-21 ball game.
And the reason that Bobby Humphrey is not in the game is not because of any injury. We're told that it was a coach's decision, and that is the unkindest cut of all.
That means that Bobby Humphrey was back there when Michael Irvin caught a 61-yard touchdown pass just before halftime.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good read on the situation, Verne.
With my astute knowledge and long observation process. 2nd down. They hand it off to Smith, who's in deep trouble.
Well, Kevin Green's going to get credit for the tackle, but all his teammates will know that number 51, Brett Verne, is the guy that makes this play. Watch how he'll step across and jam it up. And then Emmitt Smith makes a rookie mistake. Instead of taking his medicine and just going down here, he'll circle back and around. You can do this at the University of Florida, but you can't do that in the NFL. Kevin Green with a big loss.
Try it in the NFL, it'll cost you 15.
And you're going to get spanked when you get back to the sidelines. The coaches, oh, they hate that.
That was a loss of 15.
That negated the fine play he made the last 2 or 3 carries.
And it may negate a field goal at the very least. Here's Aikman across the middle. Awald diving catch is down at the 36. But on 4th down, that would set up a 52, 53-yard field goal for Ken Willis, who will come on now.
And his longest this year is just 43 yards. So this is really testing his limits.
Ken Willis 0 for 3 from outside 50 yards this season.
Boy, Emmitt Smith has just got to be beside himself on the sidelines. What a terrible mistake to try to circle around and outrun NFL players, especially Pro Bowl players like Kevin Green.
53 yards. That's one short of the Cowboy club record of 54. Willis. Nope. No chance. So the rookie mistake by game. Every time he winds his arm like that, it means that he's got the official time correct. And we've got 6:17 to go in the 3rd quarter. 21-21 ball game. The clock malfunctioning since midway through the 2nd quarter. And off Cleveland Gary, Gene Buckhart up high, and Tony Tolbert down low to collaborate on the tackle. There's Tolbert.
If there's a knock against Cleveland Gary, it's that he's impatient. Watch how the backside lineman on this play, Tom Newberry and Irv Pankey, come around, and Gary does not give them time to set up his block. He sees the first crack and he takes it. Sometimes you got to be a little bit more patient as a running back. Let those big guys up front work for you.
2nd down and 7. 21 all. Midway through the 3rd quarter. They'll try Gary coming right again. This time he slips as he wants to make his cut.
It appears that he gets in too close behind his linemen, and when they have some problem in front of them, then he doesn't have time to adjust or see another hole. He is very powerful and runs well between the tackles, but as he develops and as he gets that coaching from this guy, John Robinson, he'll look at that. That's exactly what Robinson's talking about, is let those big guys get into their blocks, get back off them a little bit, read their blocks, and then go for it.
Rams are a very respectable 4 of 9 on 3rd downs. They've got a 3rd down right now. Cowboys are blitzing. Here comes Bill Bates, and the receiver is wide open. They went in front of Kenneth Gant, and Flipper Anderson turned him around. 1st down, Los Angeles, after a gain of 16 yards.
Yeah, Bill Bates is number 40, and he's right in the middle here. He comes on the blitz. That leaves single coverage on the outside here between Kenneth Gant and Flipper Anderson. There goes Bates. He gets picked up. Here's the single coverage. And again, the Cowboys secondary giving too much room for the Ram receivers.
1st down at the 45. L.A. scored the last time it had the ball to open this 3rd quarter to tie it up at 21 all. Everett will throw into the flat for Cleveland Gary, who's known as a good receiver, and that's a fine open field tackle by Ken Norton. Very sure-handed tackle by Norton at the 41. Passing yards for the Rams, only 119 today.
And you take away that long
79-yarder
that was called back because of offsides. But it appears to me that the Rams, they know that Holt is out of the ball game, and they seem like a team that's very confident throwing the ball now on both sides of the field.
Manny Hendricks is at the left cornerback spot and Gant at the right cornerback spot. 2nd down from the 41. Everett again with time behind Cleveland Gary. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd down.
And, you know, I don't think Cleveland Gary really minds that he didn't make that catch, because number 51, Ken Norton, was coming.
Knockout punch was forthcoming.
Yeah.
A la Pop.
You bet. Norton is really having a heck of a day. He's going over for a breather now, but he has made a bunch of tackles, and he was about ready to ring up number 43 on that one.
That brings up a 3rd down and 6 from the 41. 21-21. The clock malfunctioning, so we've got somewhere around 5 minutes to go in the ball in the 3rd quarter. 4-man rush again. Everett, and Anderson drops it in front of Robert Williams. Well, you had Cox earlier in the ball game, and now Flipper Anderson. That's a total of 4 drops by the Ram receivers today.
And it's about 10 times now that the Rams have gone down to the outside and thrown passes to their wide receivers. And here, Robert Williams is giving Anderson all kinds of room, and Anderson knows it. He knows he made a good cut there. He's looking to make the grab, turn back inside, and maybe get in the end zone. A little bit over anxious.
Keith English will punt on 4th down from the Cowboy 41. Fair catch. Taken at the 12. It's Kelvin Martin who makes the grab. That's a 29-yard punt for Keith English. The Cowboys hold the Rams. They get the ball back. 1:30 to go. Aikman back, steps up, fumbles. That'll go as a sack for Kevin Green at the 15-yard line. Number 7 for the season for Kevin Green.
Green's going to come from the left side of the screen here, or right side of the screen, excuse me, and the running back comes out here. A.G. passes him up and lets Emmitt Smith have him for good reason, and neither of them can get the block on Green. A.G. goes out in his pattern. Green gets one hand on the ball, and Aikman does a super job of finding it and getting on it and saving a disaster for the Cowboys.
Second and 18. A lot of time this time, but the ball behind Kelvin Martin, and that'll bring up 3rd down. Right now, let's go back to Greg Gumbel and find out what's going on elsewhere in the NFL.
All right, Verne, at Mile High Stadium in Denver, the Bears intercepted John Elway and then turned it into a touchdown. Brad Muster, 10 yards with the extra point. It's 13-6 Bears in the 4th quarter. Let's go back to Verne and Dan in Anaheim.
Thank you, Greg. 21-21 here. The Cowboys with a 3rd down and 18. Last inside 1 minute to go in the 3rd quarter. 23 seconds remaining in quarter number 3. 3rd and 18, a 21-21 ball game. Rams with an umbrella defense. They rush 4. And that ball is incomplete. Tipped by Brett Fairnice. There, Bill Hawkins got it, number 70. Hawkins, who's had problems overcoming injuries, a one-time number 1 draft choice of a year ago, and now Mike Saxon is on to punt.
Number 70 is Hawkins. He's on the left side here, and Aikman was just going to dump this ball over the line of scrimmage, and that gives Hawkins the ability to just stand straight up and get his right hand on the ball, keeping it from getting all the way to AWOL.
Darrell Henley is back to return the punt. He waits at the 44-yard line. Nice and high, but returnable. And Henley has it at the 40, 50. Flag is down, and Henley is down at the 41-yard line. Now, will it be against Los Angeles? Bill Bates with the tackle. And Bill Bates says against Los Angeles. Bill and his wife expecting another child in February, but he said yesterday this time it will not be triplets. They had 3.
Illegal block in the back. Number 22 on the return. 10 yards. 1st down.
Bill, who has had a terrific career with Dallas as a special team standout and leads the team in special teams tackles this year.
And I was talking to Joe Avezzano, the special teams coach, yesterday, and he said that beginning of the year, Bates was the 47th man on the squad, and is he ever thankful they didn't cut Bill Bates?
Remember John Madden talking about Bill? They talk about 40 times. He said, all I know is on every kickoff, every time you look down, here's this slow guy, the first one down the field. They reverse it. Flipper Anderson. 1st down, LA at the 45-yard line, and another flag is dropped at the point of the tackle. Stop made by James Washington.
I think they're going to get Pete Holohan for illegal use of the hands. He was out in front of Anderson and trying to hold his block as long as possible.
Illegal block in the back. Number 81. 10 yards. 1st down.
This was a well set up play by the Rams. There's Holohan, 81, and he's going to block Ray Horton in the back. I'm not so sure about that call. Boy, oh boy, that is real borderline.
Well, that's the end of the third quarter with our score. Dallas 21, Los Angeles 21. Our coverage continues after this. After the penalty, 1st down and 7 for Los Angeles as we begin quarter number 4. Verne Lundquist and Dan Fouts. Jim Everett for the day now 12 of 22 for 119 yards. And on 1st down, he hands it off to Cleveland Gary, who's been the workhorse this afternoon. And Gary pounds right guard out near the 48-yard line. Dean Hamill, number 78, makes the tackle. Cowboy offense with 21 points in the first half, nothing in the third quarter. They got inside the 30-yard line. Had a loss of 15 yards by Emmitt Smith, cost them a potential field goal.
And you wonder when Everett is going to go after the secondary again. Isaac Holtz sprained his back and is doubtful if he'll return.
Williams is the corner on the near side. Hendricks will wind up as the corner on the far side. And they run it up the middle. Buford McGee, the 35-yard line. That fumble occurred after the whistle and after the tackle. So the Rams will retain possession.
Well, the Rams give the ball to the first man up the middle here. McGee is going to come straight up here. Watch the combination block by the center, Doug Smith, and Duval Love, the right guard. Love kicks out, then Newberry comes up on the middle linebacker, and McGee with good quickness gets into the secondary. But McGee is what I would call a perfect example of a role player. He knows his value to the LA Rams, and he is an excellent example of what it is to be a team player.
Everett back on 1st down, left side, and it's caught in front of Robert Williams. There's the picking on the cornerback.
Yeah, it's almost every pass play the Rams are going to throw. It's going to be this deep sideline route. We talked about the real strong arm of Everett, and this is what he loves to do, is just get back in the pocket and let this one rip. Close coverage by the pit bull there, Robert Williams, but not close enough.
Gain of 15, 1st down at the 21. Rams trailed by 7 at halftime, 21-14. They are 0-6 in games in which they trailed at halftime this year, trying to win in a come-from-behind mode. Flag is down. Robert Del Rio gets the carry. And Jimmy Jones may have jumped. Number 97, Jack Del Rio, made the tackle, but it's against the Cowboys.
Yeah, I've been in this situation.
Offside. 97 defense, 5 yards.
Where you have a running play called and you see the guy jump off sides, as a quarterback, you almost don't want to give it to the running back. You want to take it back and throw it somewhere.
The free play.
Absolutely. Here you got a free play, and the most you're ever going to get out of a running play most of the time.
Have you ever done that? Just pulled it back and said the heck with it?
Well, not that I would admit on television.
I see. Don Coryell might be on the phone saying you did what?
He'd love it. He'd say put it up every down.
1st and 5. Gary comes left and is tackled by Tony Talbert, number 92.
The Cowboy defense has been very good against the run in most cases today. They've had problem putting pressure on Everett and a lot of problems in the secondary.
Everett has been sacked 1 time today. He has not been intercepted, nor has he thrown a touchdown pass against this Dallas defense. 2nd down and 6. 21-21 ball game. Aaron Cox starts in motion to the right. Flag down. Maybe delay of game.
I think somebody flinched up in front there, one of the linemen.
False start.
Yep.
75 offense.
That's Herb Pankey, the left tackle. Herb, who earlier this week sponsored a fishing tournament here in the Southern California area.
Yeah, it was Irv Pankey's Fish and Tackle Child Abuse Tournament, and a very novel idea. A lot of times players will have golf tournaments, and if you get a hole-in-one, you win a car. Well, in this tournament, they had a fish that was tagged, a trout that was tagged, and if you would have caught this fish, you would have won a free pickup truck. A lot of Irv's teammates claim that Pankey fed the fish a bunch of sinkers before the tournament, so nobody caught him.
Everett back, dodges trouble, pulls it up, goes by Del Rio. And there's a man not known for running, and he picks up a 1st down in the scramble. Coming in, Jim Everett had carried 7 times for 5 yards. There is a flag down.
It's thrown in the secondary. And it's a defensive holding against the Cowboys, so they'll refuse this, and the Rams will have the ball inside the 10-yard line. But as you said, Verne, this is not what you call a Randall Cunningham clone.
Holding, number 56 defense.
So whatever it does here at the end, he realizes that Big Tony Tolbert's coming to get him, and he goes down and avoids having a nasty lick put on him.
And with that one carry, Jim Everett triples his rushing yardage for the year.
They ought to go renegotiate.
And that'll set up a 1st and goal for the Los Angeles Rams. Herb Pankey was having fun talking with us about that fishing tournament yesterday. He says, you know, you can't get insurance about catching a fish.
They can always figure out the odds on a hole-in-one, but the insurance companies have wanted nothing to do with somebody walking away with a free pickup truck.
Rams trying to go back on top. 1st and goal from the 3. Gary is popped. Gene Lockhart.
You know, you get a nickname like the hitting machine, and this is why. Gene Lockhart will meet Cleveland Gary right there, and Gary ain't going nowhere except down. Had a little help from his friends in there.
That's a loss of 2.
And Jimmy Jones and Lockhart combined, but boy, Gary just absolutely hit the wall.
Jimmy Jones, 97, is a childhood friend of Cleveland Gary's. Here comes Gary, and again, there's a fumble. I think Ken Norton got it. Cowboys recover.
Well, you wonder how much that hit the play before affected Gary. Ken Norton is all over this one, but this wasn't even half the hit or 1/10 of the hit that Gary sustained on the previous play. Going over the left side here on the toss play, and that ball just popped loose by Norton, and Norton will get the recovery.
That is only the 7th fumble lost by the Rams this year.
And watch number 51 here with the right hand will pop the ball loose right there. The ball will lay on the ground and it will roll right to Ken Norton.
2nd fumble lost by the Rams in the last 5.5 games, and it comes inside the 5-yard line. 21-21. And again, we're in the 4th quarter. The clock not running. Emmitt Smith tries to get outside. He fumbles back. Nope. Down by contact. Head linesman makes the call. John Schleyer immediately signaled no fumble. The ball was down.
Now this is just too close for comfort, though, if you're a Cowboy fan. Here you get the ball on the 4-yard line, and Smith, he's covering it up, and the ground causes the fumble. Good call by the officials.
10-14 approximately left. 21-21 ball game. It's 2nd down and 10. Aikman from the end zone stands tough. Has Robert Awald with a 1st down at the 28-yard line.
This is a big league play by Troy Aikman. If there is a nervous place on the field, it's when your quarterback is standing in the end zone. Right about 2 yards deep, Aikman ignores everything going on around him, finds Awald wide open in the middle of the field, and the Cowboys have breathing room all the way out to the 28-yard line.
That's a gain of 24 and a 1st down officially now at the 29-yard line. 21-21 ball game. And 9-10 remaining in the game. Clock being kept on the field. Aikman lobs it out. Emmitt Smith in the open. Goes left. Gets a great block from Kelvin Martin on Larry Kelm. How often do you see a wide receiver put a man, especially a linebacker, on the ground? It happened then.
Well, in the beginning of this, watch Emmitt Smith step out of the tackle of number 50, Frank Stamms, right there. Then he'll go by Jerry Gray right there. There's Newsome hitting the dirt, and now the block on the linebacker. And another big play for Emmitt Smith, catching a short pass from his quarterback and making a big gain.
Earlier in the first half, Emmitt Smith had a 57-yard reception. That one went for 44. First and 10, Dallas in a 21-all game. Tommy Agee, the fullback, with a rare carry inside the 25. Well, the Rams were inside the 5 after the Everett scramble. And now Jimmy Johnson's team in a tie ball game with the second down at the 24.
You know, again, personnel forces Jimmy Johnson to keep Emmitt Smith in the ball game. He was the lead blocker on that play and was too tired to get out in front of Tommy Agee. He's still sucking wind out there.
Sure is. Got his hands on his hips and he's breathing heavily. That's Emmitt Smith. Second and 7. And Smith gets the carry, runs into Kevin Green.
Emmitt Smith, the ball
Up on the top, and that'll set up a third down. They need to get to the 17-yard line.
Now again, we get back to not having an operable clock working on the field. Aikman should be trying to take some time off the clock, but he has no idea. It's out of his eyes, it's out of his mind right now. Cowboys are in wonderful field goal position, but there's a man who is our clock for the day, and I sure hope that his Timex holds up.
Something around 7.5 remaining in the ball game. Third and 5. Aikman, quick drop. Kelvin Martin. And he's got the first down at the 15-yard line and just about slipped the tackle of Darrell Henley.
Aikman has such a strong arm. Watch, just one step drop back and fire. And now Martin knows he has to run to get that first down. He does it easily.
At the 15-yard line, first down and 10. 294 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. That came on the first series for the Cowboys nearly 3 hours ago.
He likes playing against these Rams.
Looks left, pumps, goes in the corner, man open. Caught out of bounds. Martin had it.
Well, the play before, they threw the quick hitch out to Martin. This one's a hitch and go. He just runs out of real estate here. Left foot, nope, not even at close. Both feet were out of bounds by the time the ball got there. But here's the hitch and go. Right up the sidelines. Now, that's not Gray's man. This is a safety man coming over, Newsome. And Aikman just leads him, what, about 6 inches too far to the outside.
6:12 remaining in the ball game. 21-21. Cowboys second down and 10 at the Los Angeles 15-yard line. Awalt will start in motion to the left side. Aikman, post pattern inside to Martin, and that's a first and goal. Dallas at the 4-yard line, and that was on a string.
Well, Kmart's working these cornerbacks over pretty good now. This time again, it's Henley. The quick post. Strong arm got all the way through Martin's hands to his body, but he held on, setting up the Cowboys first and goal at the 4.
Dallas drive has consumed 91 yards. This all began with a fumble recovery by Ken Norton after Cleveland Gary had it pop loose.
They've already driven 90 yards.
First and goal from the 4. Smith down near the 1-yard line. Well, the Cowboys came in with only 10 touchdowns on offense this year, 5 rushing and 5 passing. They had 2 more on returns, and now they're looking at a second down and goal from just inside the 2-yard line.
Well, it appears that that offensive meeting that the players had really is paying dividends, because they're really clicking. Their offensive line is giving Aikman the protection, especially here in the second half. And he is playing by far his best game of the year.
And they are chewing on the clock. 5 minutes to go in the ball game. Oh, motion on the left side. Looked like it might have been Kevin Gogan, the left tackle.
False start, 72 offense.
Oh, Lewis Cheek.
Take a look on the right side of the screen here. And Cheek and Gogan are both lined up here. And that's Gogan that moved. He was the tight end on the play. It wasn't Lewis Cheek. So there. You had it right.
That 5-yard penalty brings the ball back just outside.
Also gets Gogan a rest on the sideline.
Sure does.
He has to go out, though, before he can go back to play his normal position for one play.
Cheek stays in there. Aikman in the corner. Martin up, incomplete. Coverage from Jerry Gray. 3rd and goal from the 6.
Boy, I question that play call there. Here you're going against the best cornerback for the Rams in Jerry Gray. Henley is having all kinds of trouble on the other side of the field. But Aikman and Shula decided to go against this Pro Bowler.
Now the Rams will make all kinds of defensive changes. The clock stopped with 4:34 remaining in the ball game. 3rd and goal from just outside the 5-yard line. Martin goes left. He works against Gray. Michael Irvin comes right. He's caught 2 touchdown passes today. In the corner, Irvin jumps. Henley knocks it away. 4th down.
Well, I think we're seeing the limitations of this Cowboy offense and some of the reasons why they haven't done very well this year. 2 straight plays, very similar plays. The Rams had them both covered. Irvin did an outstanding job of out-jumping the defender, Henley, but he just couldn't bring the ball in. It's a lot like R.C. Owens, the old alley-oop play.
That brings on the rookie from Kentucky, Ken Willis, who's a perfect 10 of 10 inside 40 yards this year, to try and break the tie. Novacek will hold it. 23-yard field goal. Up and good, and Dallas is on top. A 23-yard field goal, and Jimmy Johnson's boys have a 3-point lead. Latter stages of the 304 yards and 3 touchdowns, and the Dallas offense that was averaging 237 per game, well above that today, 354. Cleveland Gary has led Los Angeles on the ground, but the Cowboys get their first points of the second half, break the tie after Gary's fumble. They go 89 yards in 12 plays for the Ken Willis field goal. 4:24 remaining in the game as we get underway with this kickoff. Delfino comes left. Darrell Johnston makes the initial contact at the 21. A 17-yard return, and Jim Everett starts on the field. Rams get it back, trailing by 3, 24-21. $58,000 plus the official attendance today. They have seen an excellent ball game, 24-21, with 4:17 remaining in the encounter. Flipper Anderson starts in motion wide right. Everett back to pass. Under a little bit of pressure, Damone Johnson makes the grab at the 25-yard line. Both teams have all 3 timeouts left, and Johnson makes his first grab. Gene Lockhart, middle linebacker of the Cowboys.
Yeah, he's got stuff hanging out of his shirt there. He's got pads. He's got tape. You know, there's a rule that says you can't slit your jersey like that unless you got real big guns.
There's the handoff to Gary. He is knocked down.
Well, the Cowboys defense is fired up. That long drive by Aikman and company on offense has really given this whole team a belief that, hey, we're going to win this game, and they're going to win it with this drive here. They're going to shut the Rams down and force a punt. Of course, the Rams have something to say about it, but that's the feeling you get watching the Cowboys on the field.
Well, with somewhere around 4 minutes to go, 3rd and 6. 24-21, Everett back. Under pressure, Tony Talbert makes the sack. And it'll be 4th down, and the Rams will be forced to punt.
Well, this is Tony Too Small Tolbert. He's a big man on this play. Number 92 will be working against Irv Pankey, number 75. And he just tosses Pankey aside and gets in on the quarterback. Unusual to see Irv Pankey get beat like that. Fine play by Tolbert, 2nd year.
That's his 4th sack of the season, the 2nd sack of Everett today. English backed up at the 1-yard line. And the return is on all the way this time. A fine punt. Kelvin Martin at the 37. to the 45, gets to the outside. Stams chases him down. But the Cowboys come out with good field position following a 17-yard return.
And our time is 2 minutes and 34 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. It's an old rule in football, Verne. The more you can do, the more valuable you are.
It's a good thing you could use that right arm for throwing, because as an artist, Bill Reynolds, the line judge, keeps the time. 2:34 remaining. Cowboys first down at the Rams 46. Aikman will keep it on the ground. Emmitt Smith goes left, his 18th carry of the day. And he's knocked down at the 41-yard line. Rams do have all 3 timeouts left. See if they want to stop the clock now. Yes, Frank Stam says, let's kill it. And Jerry Gray is injured on that last play.
Fine job by Smith, realizing what's most important in this situation. It's not yardage, it's time. He went down before he went out of bounds and forced the Rams to use their first of 3 timeouts. And as it appeared, the Rams would have had to use a timeout because of this injury to Jerry Gray. Watch how Smith will break into the secondary here, and he could have picked up some extra yardage. Gray goes down, and Smith stays inside, not trying to outrun the pursuit, and keeps that clock rolling until the Rams use a timeout.
And good news for Jerry Gray and the Rams. He trots off by himself. May have been a cramp of some sort. But they need him on the field right now, though the Cowboys no doubt will try and run out more of the clock. Key drive was that last one when they used better than 5 minutes and 45 seconds in going for the field goal.
And that drive started when it looked like the Rams were going to go in for a touchdown. The big hit on Cleveland Gary by Lockhart, and then the next play, Ken Norton comes in, strips the ball from Gary, recovers the fumble, gives the ball to his offense, and then the big play by Aikman, standing in the pocket, finding Awalt wide open over the middle.
Well, the clock was stopped for the injury and a timeout was not charged, but now we are told by those on the field that the Rams have used one of their timeouts. They've got 2 left. And Bob McElwee checks with Bill Reynolds. That's 60, of course, that you see on the side of the officials' jerseys, worn in memory of Dick Jurgensen, fine referee who passed away a month or so ago, National Football League referee. So every official in the league is wearing number 60 for the duration of the season. 2:22 remaining in the ball game. It'll be a second down for the Dallas Cowboys in search of their 4th victory of the season. Emmitt Smith, 19th carry. It'll be 3rd and 1 as Frank Stam's number 50 makes the tackle. And the Rams kill the clock again. They'll have 1 timeout left.
Timeout, Los Angeles, number 2.
Well, John Robinson's team thought if they could win today and string together some kind of a end-of-season spurt, they might qualify for a wild card. These are up-to-date records now. And Washington and Philadelphia with 6-4 records have the edge. Green Bay is still playing this afternoon. New Orleans and Tampa Bay. And the Rams came in with a 3-6 record. If they fall to 3-7, they might lose any kind of hope of a wild card shot. And they've got a tough schedule coming up. They've got to play the 49ers twice. They've got New Orleans twice. They are at Atlanta and at Cleveland. And
what you have to remember about the wild card this year is that 3 teams will go in as wild cards. So you saw we put up 10 teams. There's only 1 team in the NFC that wasn't part of that graphic besides the 3 division leaders.
Right.
And that's the Phoenix Cardinals. So you have the 49ers, you have the Bears and the Giants. They're pretty much cinched to win their divisions. And then 10 other teams still have a shot at it. Although 1 team right now, these Los Angeles Rams, they're in deep trouble.
Third and less than a yard.
And this may be the play of the game right here if the Rams can stop.
2:15 remaining in the ball game. And Emmitt Smith appears to have moved the chain. He got to the 35. And the Rams will be able to stop the clock just one more time, and then it will stop, of course, at the 2-minute warning.
Well, and the Rams should be stopping the clock right now before that 2-minute warning. But this is going to wind down right to it.
Yep, no indication yet.
This is a real mistake by the Rams not getting this timeout called before the 2-minute warning. They had plenty of time, too.
Wasted an opportunity, did John Robinson's team. They trailed. Go and clog up the freeways.
That's not hard to do around
Not here. 24-21 with 2 minutes to go. The Rams can stop it one more time. The Cowboys have a first down at the Los Angeles 35-yard line. Emmitt Smith, 20 carries, 57 yards. And he's caught 4 passes for 118 yards in this ball game. They toss it to Smith. Good penetration from Verne. And the Rams will use their final timeout and stop it at the 37-yard line. He gets one more chance. Troy Aikman is the 5th quarterback this year to have a season-high passing day against the Rams.
Yeah, for a quarterback in trouble, it's kind of like going to Lourdes and getting cured. Play the Rams, and you might as well, you know, hang up a career day. Aikman threw 4 touchdowns last year against these Rams. Got 3 today.
And the Cowboys, Bill Bates. Be the first time in a while that they've had a pleasant plane ride home if they can hang on to this 3-point edge. 1:53 to go. The Rams cannot stop the clock. They are out of timeouts.
And this it's just over for the Rams because there's 45 seconds between each play. And if you remember back before the 2-minute warning, if the Rams call a timeout there, they have to force the Cowboys into 4 plays, and now there only have to be 3 after the 2-minute warning. A tactical error by the Rams, but that's the way their season's gone all year long. If there's something that's going to go wrong, you can almost bet on it. The Rams are going to find a way to have it go wrong.
Los Angeles is going to fall to 3-7. And they've got the 49ers twice, the New Orleans Saints twice, and road trips to Atlanta and Cleveland. Welcome those of you who watch Green Bay's 3-point win over Phoenix. We have an identical score here with the Dallas Cowboys breaking a 21-21 tie, a 23-yard field goal by Ken Willis. And the Rams cannot stop the clock. The Cowboys have a 4th down coming up, but they lead it 24-21. Our clock has malfunctioned through most of the game, so we're not certain how much time is left. 40 seconds, we believe. And on 4th down, the Cowboys will punt, or will they just, yes, they do send Mike Saxon on. 30 seconds remaining and the clock running. There's Mike Saxon.
They're going to take it all the way down and take the delay of game penalty. And now we'll be able to find out exactly how much time is left.
22 seconds.
This makes me wonder why the Cowboys went into the fall down for the quarterback play twice in a row instead of trying to pick up the first down. I mean, we've seen so many times in this league things turn around in just an instant. You know the Rams are going to be trying to block this punt by Saxon. And if they do, there's plenty of time for the Ram offense to get down and at least get a field goal to tie it up.
16 seconds now.
We've had some questionable jobs being done here by the coaching staff. Questionable decisions.
Rams do take the penalty of 5 yards. And from the 45, Saxon is back. Saxon hurries and gets it away. Darrell Henley fields it, heads for the sidelines, and is out of bounds at the 23-yard line. And there are 7 seconds remaining in the ball game. 5 seconds, we are now told.
1 play is left in this ball game.
Yep. Bill Reynolds, who has had 7 seconds officially. You can see Bill Reynolds, at least if I can count, all the fingers and thumb on one hand and 2 on the other. That's 7.
Yes, it is every time.
Jimmy Johnson's team 1-15 last year. And they're 7 seconds away from going 4-7 this year. And they've got all those draft picks in the next 2 seasons. Thank you, Mike Lynn and the Minnesota Vikings. Everett drops back. James Washington back to defend. Incomplete.
That'll do it.
Ball game is over. And for Jimmy Johnson and the Dallas Cowboys, a 24-21 victory. Troy Aikman, 304 yards, 3 touchdowns. And Emmitt Smith, 55 yards on the ground, 118 catching passes. Final score, 24.